also for data analysis and image processing. For data collection, the agronomic parameters are collected manually, and the remote sensing parameters are collected from the soil masked drone-mounted multispectral images. Here we can see the how we have acquired the images, and then for soil masking, we have used the field imager software, where we have masked the soil and the weeds and retain only the vegetation of the cotton plants. Then among all the data are selected, have selected the best, among all the data we have selected the best 7 agronomic parameters and 20 remote sensing parameters, and hybrid data, which is the combination of the mean remote sensing parameter throughout the cotton season and the selected agronomic parameters. We have removed the multicollinearity if needed and used it for modeling the multiple linear regression, stepwise and SVM, as they are sensitive to the multicollinearity. And if there is no multicollinearity problem, we can just use it in all models. And without any sorting out, we have selected, we have used the predictors for lasso and elastic net, as they can handle that multicollinearity better. So this is the result and discussion part. First of all, the agronomic parameter models. As we have mentioned in the method section, from 17 agricultural parameters collected, we selected 7 best parameters for the agronomic parameter model. The selected parameters are, here you can see the eastern count, the number of bolls per plant, the plant height for different days after sowing, and the days to pass boll split. And it has been done by correlation matrix and recursive feature elimination. Here you can see that the elastic net has outperformed among all the models. It shows the highest R square value of 0.58 and the lowest RMSE and MAE value for the agronomic parameter models. In the spider chart here, we can see the predictor importance for the individual models, and in the bar chart, it shows that across all the models, eastern count was the most important predictor for agronomic parameter model, followed by boll per plant and heights of different DAs after sowing. Now for remote sensing parameter model. In this figure, we are seeing the correlation of yield and different selected remote sensing parameters across different DAs. The DAs has been put in the x-axis, and the remote sensing parameters are in the y-axis. Here some specific predictors like the DCHM, the ENDVI, GCI are showing the strong correlation with yield at 90 to and 115 DAs, which is the flowering 50% flowering stage and the boll formation stage. From here we can already hypothesize that 90 and 115 DAs will be the optimal stage for yield prediction. And this hypothesis is proved in this bar graph. Here we can see that the stepwise has been performed best for flowering stage at 90 DAs, and lasso and elastic net have performed best for boll formation stage at 115 DAs. It's an interesting finding that the remote sensing parameter can predict better almost 75 days prior to final harvesting than the agronomic parameter model. If you remember, the agronomic parameter, the base model was elastic net, and the R square value was 0.58. We have run 5 models for 6 dates with a total of 30 times. we have calculated the frequencies of the parameters used in the models date-wise. In this bar graph, we can see out of 30 times, 23 times DCHM, which is the digital canopy height model, has been selected as predictor, followed by the ENDVI 12 times and NDVI 10 times. So these are the top 3 remote sensing parameters for remote sensing cotoneal prediction models. Now let's dive into the hybrid parameter models. For the hybrid parameter model, the multiple linear model has performed moderately compared to others. Here the R-square value we can see that 0.67 and for test is 0.66. For stepwise, the predictive ability has been improved from 0.66 to 0.67, and the same goes on for SVM model too. For lasso model, it has performed the best in terms of predictive ability and stability. Here the R-square value for train data we can see 0.8, and for the test data the value is 0.72 with the lowest RMSE value here. ElasticNet has performed better than Lasso in the train data set, but in test data set it did not perform well due to lack of consistency and stability. So we have selected Lasso as the best model for hybrid parameter modeling. Now here comes the model comparison. This is called a Taylor chart, where in this chart we can see the correlation between the train data and the test data, and in this chart it shows the RMSE value, and in x-axis and y-axis it shows the standard deviation of the model. Here in Taylor graph we can see the correlation between, as we have said, the observed yield and predictor yield is higher comparatively in hybrid models than the agronomic parameter model. Among them, ElasticNet and Lasso have performed the best for hybrid parameter models. The RMSE values are also less in hybrid parameter model. So we can see the overall performance of hybrid parameter model is way better than the sole agronomic parameter models. As the Lasso model has been proved the best among all the models in this study, the final yield map prediction has been formulated by the Lasso model. Here you can see the actual yield map, the predictive yield map prepared by Lasso model, and the error map, where in most of the plots the error is very minimal, except one plot it has shown some error, and in the natural system it can happen. So for conclusion, we can say that the hybrid parameter model combining the agronomic and remote sensing parameter demonstrated the highest predictability. For remote, among the agronomic parameter models, the ElasticNet has performed better. For remote sensing model, at flowering stage, the stepwise regression has been performed better. For remote sensing model, both formation stage, Lasso and ElasticNet has performed better. For hybrid parameter models, as we said earlier, the Lasso model is the best among all the models. For cotoneal prediction, flowering stage and whole formation stage are the earliest point where we can predict the cotton yield. And among the remote sensing parameters, DCHM was the most critical predictor across the remote sensing models, and ENDVI and NDVI ranked consistently in terms of importance across the multiple clients. So for future, we can say that I have prepared a hybrid model, but it needs to be validated. The hybrid models in diverse regions and seasons. We can also integrate the weather data to improve the accuracy. We can also make it further by using the advanced AI like deep learning but it needs a huge amount of data set. And also we can synergize the UAV and the satellite images. As we know, the satellite images are free and low cost than the UAV images. So, and we also can incorporate the affordable sensors for predicting the models. And thank you all again for being here today and for your engagement throughout the session.
Thank you, Sudhir, for your nice presentation. So the floor is now open for the audience. Please ask questions or comments.
Thank you for your nice presentation. I have noticed that in your model you use two varieties of photos. But I was wondering how you assign your model in case of where there are multiple varieties and there are soil and climate variabilities, and like what happens in our real or field condition.
Thank you, Maria, for your nice question. Not only two varieties, we have incorporated two experiments where there is different stresses, different varieties. So we want to mimic the field condition, the farmer's condition. The farmer field can face the water stress. They can feel different. They can grow different varieties, and the fertilizer dose difference can be happen. So to make a robust model, we have incorporated the two experiments. So I think this model is quite robust in terms of varieties, as we have selected two, or there are more varieties in other experiment. So I think by mimicking the farmer's field, like I have done in this study, the yield modeling can be more robust for the farmer's point of view.